If your business ships anything to the United States, you need to stop what you're doing and listen. A massive foundational change is coming to U.S. imports. And trust me, it's going to affect every single low-value shipment you send. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what's happening, what it really means for you, and what you need to do, like right now.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. For years, this has been the magic number, $800. It's the de minimis threshold, and it's what allowed literally millions of packages to fly into the United States every single day without anyone having to pay duties or taxes. You could say it pretty much fueled a huge chunk of global e-commerce.
Well, come August 2025, that magic number? It's gone. It just vanishes. The $800 de minimis rule, which you might know as Section 321, is being suspended for all shipments from all countries. The entire era of simple, easy, duty-free entry for low-value goods is, well, it's over.
So you're going to want to circle this date on your calendar. It all goes into effect at 1 minute past midnight U.S. Eastern Time, thanks to Executive Order 14324. And let me be clear, this isn't some gradual phase-out. Nope, it's a hard switch. It's like flipping a switch that rewrites the rules of trade overnight for everyone, everywhere.
So what does this suspension actually mean for you in practice? Let's break down the fundamentals of this new reality, because the rule itself sounds simple, right? No more $800 exemption, but the consequences, oh, they are way more complex.
Now, it's not a total wipeout of all duty-free items. A few, very specific categories are still going to be exempt. We're talking about things like certain donated goods, some informational materials, genuine gifts, and I mean genuine gifts valued at $100 or less, and of course your standard letters and documents. But for pretty much all commercial goods, that door is slamming shut.
All right, let's get into the new procedures, because this is where things get interesting. With the old simple rule gone, U.S. Customs has basically created two completely separate pathways for these goods. And the path your shipment takes, it depends entirely on how you send it.
And right here, this is the first major fork in the road for your business. Everything is now split. If you're using a private courier, like a DHL or a FedEx, or you're shipping via air and sea freight, you'll be playing by one set of rules. But if you use a public international mail service, you're in a completely different ballgame.
So if you're using those private couriers, here's the absolute key takeaway. Every single package, I don't care if it's worth $1, now needs a full digital customs entry through the ACE system. That old simplified entry type 86? Gone. This means you have to have all this detailed data. We're talking the full 10-digit HTS code, the country of origin, all of it ready to go before that item even leaves your warehouse.
Now, for those of you using international mail, you're entering this temporary transition period. From late August 2025 until the end of February 2026, you actually get a choice about how you pay the taxes. But, and this is a big but, that choice is very short-lived. It disappears completely on March 1st, 2026.
So what is this choice you get during that little window? Well, you can either go with the ad valorem method, which is a fancy way of saying the tax is calculated precisely based on your product's value and its country's tariff rate. Or you can choose the much simpler flat rate method, where you just pay a fixed tax amount for each item. One's precise, the other is simple.
And if you do choose that simpler flat rate option, the tax is going to fall into one of three buckets. Your item will be taxed at either $80, $160, or $200. Which bucket you fall into depends on the tariff bracket of the product's country of origin. It's definitely simple, but you gotta know, it might not always be the cheapest way to go.
Okay, we've covered the technical what, all the rules and pathways. So let's get to the critical part, the so what. How does all this actually translate to your operations, your daily grind, and your bottom line? Well, for starters, the entire cost structure for every single low-value item you sell in the U.S. has fundamentally changed. Your landed cost calculation now has this big, new mandatory slice of the pie for duties, taxes, and fees that it wasn't there before. This isn't optional anymore. It's the new cost of doing business.
And the impact just ripples out from there. Your profit margins on e-commerce, on samples, on spare parts, they all have to be completely recalculated. Your lead times, they're going to get longer because of these new customs processes. And then you have to ask the big question, who pays for this, you or the customer? That means you have to review your sales terms. And finally, your compliance risk goes through the roof because one little data error on any shipment can now get you hit with penalties.
So with this deadline barreling down on us, what do you need to do right now?
We've broken it down into a really practical two-part action plan. There's one for the strategic decisions at the leadership level and one for the tactical, get-it-done stuff for your operational teams.
Okay, for the executives, the leadership team, the focus has to be strategic, big picture. First, you've got to recalculate profitability on everything. Second, you have to renegotiate your sales terms to make it crystal clear who is on the hook for these new costs. Third, start exploring tariff engineering. I mean, can you qualify for a trade deal like USMCA to lower the tax bite? And finally, you have to make data accuracy a top-down, no-excuses priority. Now, for the operations teams, the people on the ground, your work is tactical and it's immediate. You need to build new workflows to get that mandatory HDS and origin data before you ship, period. If you're using postal, you need to pick your tax method and get that new monthly payment process set up. And get your systems updated to automatically handle the few exceptions and start planning now for that mandatory switch to the ad valorem method in 2026.
Look, to just boil this entire monumental shift down, this table really says it all. It doesn't matter if you use couriers or the post office, the result is the same. The era of simple, data-light, duty-free shipments under $800 is officially over. Every single shipment now means more data, more process, and, yep, more cost.
The deadline is firm, and believe me, it is coming up fast. The new reality is that preparation is no longer optional. It's absolutely essential if you want to survive and succeed in the U.S. market. The companies that act now, the ones that update their systems and their strategies, they're the ones who will navigate this new world successfully. The only question left is, will your business be one of them?